Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a good one. Today we're going to discuss why dads are so important. Now, an overwhelming majority of Americans agree that fathers play an important role, an irreplaceable role in their children's lives. 89% of Americans agree that it's important for a child to be raised in a home with both a mother and a father. And 92% of Americans agree that fathers play a unique role and contribution to their child's life. Today we're going to discuss first, fathers have an important impact on their children's future. Secondly, when fathers are involved in the lives of their children, especially their education, their children perform better. And lastly, a father's love is just as important as a mother's. So I've got a lot of statistics, and much of my sources came from the Fatherhood.gov, National Parents Organization, U.S. Centers of Disease Control, U.S. Department of Justice, and U.S. Census Bureau. First, fathers have a direct impact on their child's lives. There was a study done by the U.S. Department of Justice, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, and the U.S. Census Bureau, and it showed that children raised by a single parent account for 63% of teen suicide, 70% of juvenile in-state operated institutions, and 90% of homeless and runaway children. And a majority of these single homes were children raised by just mothers. A number of studies also found that children with shared parenting arrangements were physically healthier and had fewer stress levels. Children with involved fathers have fewer issues relating to depression, they have more life satisfaction, they have less anxiety, and they have more self-esteem. When fathers are involved in the lives of their children, especially their education, their children tend to perform better in school and exhibit healthier behavior. Children with actively involved fathers have stronger verbal skills and display less behavioral problems in school. Girls with stronger relationships with their dad tend to do better with math, and boys tend to perform better on achievement tests. When a parent-child relationship is split up, or whenever there is a non-custodial father, and the non-custodial father is very active in their child's education, the children are learning quicker and tend to have straight A's in all grade levels. Now, speaking of non-custodial fathers, a non-residential father's contact with children and involvement in their schools within the past year are associated with the same three factors: paying child support, the custodial mothers tends to be more educated, and custodial homes are not experiencing financial difficulties. Lastly, we're going to talk about why a father's love is just as important as a mother's. A father's relationship with his daughter is important because he is the first man she'll ever know in her life, and in that standard for what she will expect of a man and lifelong partner. Boys model themselves after their father. They look up to their father and look for approval in everything they do and copy those behaviors. According to a 2009 study using data from Fragile Families and Child Wellbeing Study, children without their biological fathers were more likely to be abused or neglected, oftentimes by a non-biological father or a man dating their mother. A dad represents a protector for his children. So in conclusion, what I've just talked about is fathers have a direct impact on their children's future. When a father is involved in the lives of their children, especially their education, their children tend to flourish and be more successful. And lastly, a father's love is just as important as a mother's. Although the court system does look at fathers as lesser than mothers, it's not true because they are equal.